Hi, I'm Mina Roby. I'm a health and wellness coach. In this video today, we are going to make the most delicious winter vegetable soup. Please do not turn this video off because it's got sweet potatoes and kale in it, because you are absolutely going to love it. It's not scary vegetables. They're delicious. Everything's going to go into a big pot. We're going to chop stuff up, put some seasonings, a little bit of cream in there, half and half in there, and some vegetable broth. It's so delicious. Okay, this soup has mushrooms, garlic, carrots, celery, onions, kale, and sweet potato. Some of these are considered winter vegetables, which just means they keep in your refrigerator for a long time. They were made that way to winter over, you know, when there's summer vegetables and everybody just kind of gets snowbound in their homes and there's no crops. But now, of course, we can get whatever vegetable we want year-round. But this is a winter vegetable soup, and your body likes nourishing itself for the seasons. So the winter time, these are the vegetables we need to be eating: the carrots and the celery, the onions, the kale, the winter vegetables. The summer vegetables and the summer fruits are a little bit different. So we're going to make this recipe. I just want to show you what we have in it first. It's got, like I said, we've got kale, sweet potato, mushrooms, garlic, carrots, celery, onion, some bay leaves, some brown rice noodles. You're going to love it. Okay, big pot. We've already got some olive oil heating in here. This is a cast iron pot with an enamel inside, so you can use a pot like this or any kind of big soup pot, but it needs to be pretty big because we've got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to put a lot of broth in it. Now, we've heated it up. Then I put some olive oil in here to warm that up. Now we're going to put the onions. All those vegetables that you saw before have now been chopped up, but they don't go in at the same time. Onions are first. So the onions go in, and they're going to cook for maybe like 5 minutes. They're going to cook for like 5 minutes. You're going to put a little salt on them. Remember, every time you add something, you need to add some salt, because not too much, just a dab, because salt is a flavor enhancer. It's not a seasoning. Okay, so this is going to cook for a little bit. Then we're going to put the garlic in. It's going to cook, and then all the rest of these vegetables are going to go in with the broth and the other seasonings. So this is going to cook for a few minutes, and then we'll throw in everything else. Okay, 5 minutes on the onions. Now the garlic's going in. And I do want to tell you guys, too, for sure, this is going to be just like 2 or 3 more minutes, and then all these other vegetables are going to go in with the broth. But if you're a beginning cook, this is the perfect soup to make, anything to make, to practice your knife skills. You can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. Get a good knife. Here you go. Make sure it's sharp. Just start chopping. Who cares? Who cares what your carrots look like? Who cares what your mushrooms or your sweet potatoes? Oh, I have another video too on this channel. I did not show you on this video how to chop everything, because I have another video on the channel that shows you how to chop different vegetables. How to chop onions and garlic, how to open up the garlic, mushrooms, how to peel a sweet potato and get that chopped. So use this opportunity to practice your knife skills. And it's all food. Okay, just another couple minutes. Actually, it's been a minute. So we're going to start throwing the other stuff in. Yay. This is another, oh yeah. Yay. This is another awesome, fun kitchen tool. It's called a, tell me what it's called. A bench scraper. Sorry, I lost it for a second there. Okay, here's our carrot.
Third bottle of wine?
Well, it's bottle, no. It's my second glass. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to enjoy your cooking. Okay, so our carrots, our mushrooms. Look at all this good, yummy stuff. Carrots and mushrooms, celery. All of this yummy stuff is going in. And again, don't be scared of this. And don't think that you have to eat Taco Bell. You can absolutely feed yourself. This is one sweet potato. Oh, and I've got another video of just sweet potatoes. You are going to love it. Everything you can do with sweet potatoes. Okay, there we go. Again, big pot, there's all that. A little bit more salt, because we added more. We added more stuff, so we add more salt. Here we go. Just stir everything around. This is going to cook for just another couple minutes, and then we're going to add the broth and the seasonings. Our winter soup is coming along. We put all the vegetables in there except for the kale, and that's at the end. I'm going to fill you in on that. We've just stirred it around for a couple of minutes. Now we've got 2 tablespoons of Old Bay seasoning. It's pretty spicy. I've got a few little bay leaves. Okay, these are bay leaves. These are pretty tiny. Most of the time when you get bay leaves, here they are. These are the dried. It's a, well, it's called seasoning. It's a seasoning, not a spice. I don't know what it is. But anyway, it's in the spice section in this little jar, or you can get bags of them. Most of the time, they're about this big. And this recipe calls for 1, but since these are so small, I'm putting 3 in here. And then we're also going to do 6 cups of vegetable broth. This is purchased vegetable broth. 1 box is 4 cups. So when you're reading your recipe, that just gives you some information for your shopping list. So 1 box is 4 cups. We're going to do this box and half of that one. All right. Here we go, half of this one. I also have another video that I hope that you will check out about making your own vegetable broth and your own chicken broth at your house. All right, that's probably about, I'll say that's about half. Now then, this now comes up to a simmer, which means, where's my lid? Let's stir all this in. So those are all on spices. You saw what we did. Everything we have in here are vegetables. An herb, which is the garlic, that's an herb. Everything else is vegetables. The bay leaf is an herb, and the Old Bay seasoning is a spice. We have some salt in here, and the vegetable broth. Now, we're going to put the lid on this, bring it up to a boil, and then we're going to turn the burner down where it just simmers for 35 minutes. And there's just like 2 or 3 more things to add. It's going to be delicious. Our soup has been cooking for 35 minutes, so now we're going to add the kale. I've already pulled it, like cut it off the ribs and chopped it. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. The cream, well, it's half and half. In this recipe also, you can substitute coconut milk for the half and half, and I'm really excited to try that. I haven't tried that yet. All right, so this is going to go in, and now the half and half. This is what makes it a creamy winter vegetable soup. And look, after this, and we're going to add some brown rice noodles. Okay, brown rice noodles cook in like 5 minutes. It's really fine, small, thin, but it is completely gluten-free, whole grain brown rice noodles. Just going to add a little bit more texture to it, and deliciousness. Look at that beautiful cream. Okay, put a little bit more salt, and then all this is just mostly just going to like warm up the extra things that we added in here just now. It's going to warm up. So let's put the lid on it. And we'll look at that in just a second. I want to show you what to do with the kale. If you've never messed with kale before. This is what it's going to look like when you buy it. It's in stalks like any of the other winter greens like mustard greens or turnip greens. Mike's making some cornbread for us for dinner. This, well, all recipes, but this recipe as well. The kale is going to come in a bunch, like a big bunch, but this is like one of the stalks of it. So when you're going to cook with it like this like heavy rib at the back, you're just going to kind of slice those leaves off of that. See how easy that comes off? You don't want that thick stalk on this. Some of the greens you do, but not for kale. So you're just going to kind of cut that off a little bit. There you go. And then we'll get that off a little bit more. It's like the rib. When you see a recipe that says, and then you just kind of bunch them all together and chop it up. And that's what we did for this soup. You can use kale raw in all kinds of salads or as a garnish for different entrees. You're going to love it. Okay. I also wanted to tell you about a recipe. When you're cooking from a recipe, read the entire recipe first. Read the whole thing before you even start shopping. For instance, like this recipe tonight, I'd already read the recipe. I had my shopping list done, and I wanted to cook with it with the coconut milk. And this recipe had a substitute. If you didn't have coconut milk, you could use the half and half, which I did. The only reason I knew that is because I read the recipe before I went to the grocery store. When I got to the grocery store, no coconut milk, so I had the half and half. So that's just like a little example for you to read the recipe, the entire recipe before you get started. And then just cook. Just cook. Don't be afraid. My granddaughter, she's 13, over the holidays, so I was talking about using this time, especially a recipe like this, to practice your knife skills. She's 13 years old. I had her slicing. I asked her to slice the lemons for us for our Christmas brunch, and she took a little chunk out of her finger with a knife. She's a trooper, taped it up, band-aided it up, and went back to slicing. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to practice and just try cooking. Just cook. The winter soup is finished. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for you guys to try it. You're going to love it. It's creamy and delicious and hearty. I wasn't going to mention this before if you didn't notice. There's no meat in it, but there's also no need for it because all these vegetables are so hearty and filling and delicious and nutritious. This is Mike's incredible buttermilk cornbread. So you can put a nice big chunk of his cornbread right there in that beautiful soup. I'll put mine on the side actually. Mine's going to go on the side. I hope you guys enjoy it.